Hi, my name's Claire, and I'm a senior in high school. Life sucks to be a girl.
Hi, I'm Kennedy, and I'm a freshman in high school.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and I'm a senior in high school.
Hi, I'm Violet, and I'm a junior in high school.
Hi, my name is Elena, and I'm a sophomore in high school. Excuse me, but I'd rather do anything than stand around with these jerks. And I am.
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 And I am a young woman.
My journey to hell and back all began a year ago. It was the summer of my senior year. My name is Claire, and I am a victim of an abusive relationship. My friends all thought we were crazy. We met, me and him, in a coffee shop named The Daily Grind. And he worked there, so when he called my name to give me my triple venti not fat caramel macchiato, he gave me a napkin with his name and number. I was elated. I hadn't been on a date in an entire year, and my friends constantly urged me to get back out there and that I'd find love again, but I never complied. So when a handsome, dark-haired, dark-eyed stranger showed any sort of interest, I thought to myself, this is my chance. And so I texted him. I texted him a simple, hey, this is the girl from the coffee shop. No capital letters to show that I was chill, and no emojis to show that I wasn't eager, even though I ultimately was super desperate. Instantaneously, I received a response, and then the rest is history. He took me out on dates, we had our first kiss, and he asked me to be his girlfriend. All in the span of a week. Now, of course, I thought this was moving a bit fast, but I dismissed that thought from my mind. For the moment that you know you're falling in love with someone is the most terrifying thing, for it's completely out of your control. You know that you're falling in love with someone when you desperately wish you can freeze time and spend eternity with that one person, and you desperately wish you could spend your entire life with that one person. When the butterflies, stimulation, and euphoria come together to create something really beautiful that you've never had with anyone ever before. You are wanted, you are validated, and you feel like a priority. But falling in love doesn't mean that you're soulmates. Me and his relationship escalated pretty quickly after that. He asked me to be his girlfriend on June 22nd, but back then I shouldn't have overlooked all of the passive aggression, the subtle shoves. It wasn't intolerable, but it was something that I shouldn't have had to deal with. All of my worst fears came to light, and I felt unwanted, unneeded, undesirable, but most of all, I felt abandoned. But after each moment, he was immediately remorseful, and he always apologized. He said he wanted change. And I actually believed him. So things were better for a while, but sometimes he just broke. And my friends witnessed me become more and more reclusive by the day, and I hardly ever studied. I didn't pay attention in school. I didn't talk to my parents, let alone my friends, because I felt that I had to spend every waking moment with him. And then the abuse became my new normal. I found myself having to use makeup to cover up my bruises and scratches, and I felt that I had to spend every single moment with him. But the last straw happened when we were both getting ready for a party that we were invited to. I decided to wear a tube top because it was hot outside and I thought I looked good in it, but apparently I had to go back inside and change because apparently I looked to quote unquote slutty. So I stood my ground. I said no, I would not do that, but he started to yell at me. And that was the first time he had yelled at me in front of people, and I thought I could overlook it, but then he hit me. And his friends told him to knock it off, but I broke down, and my friends took me home. And I never contacted him again. There was no goodbye. There was no breakup. There was no nothing. Should I have worn that top that day?
I gotta get to my next class.
Watch where you're going.
I'm sorry, that was my fault. It'll never happen
Yeah, you
again.
better be sorry. Freshman, watch, keep your head up next time.
Summer was coming to a close, and pretty soon the nerves kicked in. School was about to begin, and I had just moved to town. Being the new kid is already complicated enough, but I knew absolutely nobody. My name is Kennedy, and I'm a victim of bullying. I was going into my freshman year of high school, which was terrifying in itself. We were coddled in middle school, but high school is a totally different animal in itself. Newsflash, high school cliches aren't generally a thing. No new magical best friend's going to pick you out of a crowd and you'll create a bond that will last for a lifetime. There aren't cliques, and there aren't evil principals. Everyone just coexists. The halls are filled with judging peers, always looking you up and down. Fake friends are a commonality, and friend groups typically don't remain close for long. Girls can be ruthless to one another. They can be vicious and mean. Everyone is yearning for popularity, yearning to be in. And when I joined the cheerleading team, oh boy was I in. I was new, and I was a 9th grader, which means I was fresh meat. A senior named Chloe and a sophomore approached me on the first day. I was, of course, number 1, shocked, and number 2, excited, for I'd made friends on the first day. They were unusually nice to me at first. They invited me to parties, to hang out with them, and to brunch. And it all started with the damn cheerleading team. I was naive back then. Not as smart as I am now, not as wise as I am now. I felt special. And I felt wanted because somebody wanted to be my friend. And I had achieved this popularity that seemed to be desired. Now, I never thought about popularity, and it sure as hell wasn't my lifetime goal to rule the school. But in an instant, my phone was blowing up every second of every day. I was always either with someone or texting someone, always in the loop. The first day of school was tough for me, but joining that squad started making my school year tolerable. I went from being the teacher's pet, the smart one, the nerdy one even, to popular. Somehow, all flew out the window. Life was so different in my old school, you know? Life was all hand-holding and teamwork. Girls went from supporting one another to ripping the other apart, from their hair to their shoes. This newfound attention was like a drug for me. I felt that they had taken me under their wing. But homecoming week was when it all went downhill. Now, I had plans with Chloe and Marissa to go to homecoming, and we were going to take Marissa's G-Wagon to the dance. But when I showed up on Throwback Thursday as the only Powerpuff Girl, I suspected something was up. That was only the beginning. I had accepted the excuses. The day of the dance, well, Marissa and Delaney canceled on me because, God forbid, they miss a birthday party, right? Jessica's party was the next day, and she was taking a bunch of girls to the dance in a limo. Now, all of said friends were part of my friend group, except me. And then once I confronted them about it, they yelled at me in front of everyone, which was incredibly embarrassing. Like, who does that? It then progressed to the point where they were commenting hard eyes on my Instagram post, but accidentally sending a rude comment with the photo I was in to the group chat. I had never really been friends with Jessica, but boy did she have a say. She turned all of them against me like I was some deadly disease. And now Chloe and I will never be the same because I refuse to deal with her horrible actions toward me. Hey, Chloe, is this you?
No, that's Chloe. She gets around.
Oh, wait. Didn't she send us to James? Wow.
I can't explain. I didn't think this through. I mean, I did.
Wait,
but...
what's going on?
You know that girl Chloe? She sent news to James, and he sent it around to everyone, and now everyone has it saved in their phones. It really sucks, but she deserves it.
How did she deserve it?
She shouldn't have sent them in the first place. She was asking for it.
Okay, but if James or Noah or even Logan sends news to another girl, it gets unnoticed. Or even worse, praised. Do you guys ever think of her feelings? Here you guys are, just drowning her out and calling her despicable names. Maybe put yourself in her shoes. What would you do in her situation? Here she is, and maybe he led her on to believe that they were exclusive. Maybe he told her he wouldn't save them. The outcomes are endless, but instead of tearing her apart, maybe we should come together and tell her everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, but in the movies, the modest, nerdy, innocent little sweetheart is always the popular guy's dream girl. But honey, life isn't like the movies. At my school, you gotta bear some skin to be in. My name's Chloe, and social media has consumed me. I'd always been the it girl. I'd always been the one that every girl envied. But as much as I was receiving female attention, I was also receiving attention from the opposite sex. I was always being called hot or sexy, no longer beautiful or even pretty. But I didn't really think of that at first. I stopped paying attention to the teacher a long time ago. Like, we're talking middle school, and I started paying attention to the boy beside me. Instead of focusing on my AP test tomorrow, I started focusing on what filter I want to use. And then it all became a blur until now. I never really thought in depth about the intensity of this situation until right this second. I don't remember when I started talking to him because back then I spoke to everyone and everyone spoke to me. He was cute, of course, and he made my heart flutter in some weird way. Now, I wasn't an idiot. I didn't walk around having the entire male population knowing what my body looks like. But the one time I felt comfortable, it all went downhill. There are rules to popularity, and there are rules on how to stay popular. Now, back in middle school, I was no model student, but I was a good girl. When sophomore year rolled around, all my new friends had done so many things that I hadn't. Gone to parties, drink, jewel, have sex. Although it did seem dangerous, it also sounded incredibly exciting at the same time. A part of the rules was talking to guys, and because I was single, it didn't really feel dirty. I felt so cool. I felt different. I was always used to compliments, but guys had been too shy to contact me. I still remember when I first caught his eye in the hallway. He had a silver stud earring and a tattoo of a diamond on his forearm, and with his messy brown hair, butterflies just flew in my stomach. Flash forward, and we could not stop talking. Yeah, we sent lewd photos, but that's just the natural progression of any relationship, right? As much as I cared about this, I could not let my friends know. As much as they were my ride or dies, I genuinely feared they'd sabotage what could be the beginning of a new relationship. Everything was perfect. Almost too perfect. Until the end of the year dance that he threw. He picked me up at 9, and we had the time of our lives separately. his friends were friends with my friends, and when we all sat down to hang out, I found out something that I didn't want to know. He was talking about manipulating me into losing my virginity to him. And he was showing his friends all the pictures that I sent him. I was so mad, but I couldn't let them know that. The next Monday, I came into school late, third period biology, and all my friends hugged me because he posted one of the pictures I sent him on social media with the caption, "Hit her up, boys, this girl does anything for attention." I lost it. I spoke to the school and they suspended him. Thank God. My friends encouraged me to let it roll off my back, but I just couldn't. I went off on him. And no one should dare disrespect me like that again.
Hey, Chloe. Did you hear about Zach's getting?
Totally. It's gonna be wild. He's got a fake and his parents won't be home, so we'll get trashed.
I'm so gonna get so trashed. Come on.
He was sweet at first. To me, at least. My friends weren't a fan of him, but I was fully engrossed in the sheer presence of him whenever he was near. It was something I couldn't quite put my finger on. My name is Violet, and I am a victim of sexual assault. I think. The night was all a blur. It seems so long ago, but in reality, it's only been 2 weeks. We met in Mrs. R's chemistry class. The recipe for success in her class was simple: partnering a smart, hard-working student with one who was less capable equals good grades. That was precisely our situation. His name was Zach, and as we were working together on a lab, I felt myself almost leaving my body. I wasn't myself. He walked me to my next class, and I didn't hear from him again until July 22nd. That day still makes my heart burn and my head ache. We were at his Getty, and being invited by my close friend Lena, she was the only one I knew. And also, classic Lena, she disappears without notice, leaving you alone and confused. And then I saw him. Him. Wow, did he look good. His white shirt shone in the black light, his jeans ripped in just the right places. He brought me a drink, and soon enough we were dancing on each other, living it up. And then I found myself in a random bedroom, and we were making out, and he pushed me down on the bed and got on top of me, and then I was myself again. I was Violet. Smart, quiet, virgin Violet, who didn't want to do that. And then all went black. Darkness, silence. And then I woke up in what seemed like years later with a massive headache and throw up everywhere. I checked my phone and all I saw were worried texts from my friends and parents. And my friends were texting me asking me about this Zach guy. Who was Zach? I checked my friend's Snapchat story and then it all came clear. Zach was the guy from my chemistry class who I was so smitten with. What happened to me?
Did you hear about Brian?
No, what's up?
Well, I heard he took Annabelle to the homecoming game, Emily to the dance itself, and he hooked up with Violet last weekend.
Hooked up with Violet? That sweet girl?
Mhm.
Isn't she the one in our chemistry class?
Yeah. Oh, Elena, did you hear about Brian? No. Well, I heard he took Annabelle to the homecoming game and Emily to the dance itself, and he hooked up with Violet last weekend. I heard James talking about it during lunch. That's not something to be proud of. I've always had a particular distaste for the cliques at my high school. Lohberg High School, land of the free. Yeah, right. Land of the free, more like land of the double standard. My name is Elena, and I strive to stand up for girls that have to deal with the double standard. It all started in middle school. Yes, middle school. Lohberg is a small town, so everyone knows everyone and their mothers here. I've had the same class since preschool, so we're all pretty familiar with each other. We were all the best of friends in elementary school. Then 7th grade came, and girls would kill their best friends for the quarterback on the football team. Meanwhile, that same exact quarterback was playing all those girls like a fiddle. The guys praised him. So, I got the idea in my little 7th grade mind to test this theory. One can have many romantic partners and get praised for it. My freshman year, I sent my best friend Annabelle out into the depths of the high school pool, and just our luck, we got a bunch of guys to start talking to her in an instant. They were all asking her to go on dates and to go to the movies, and our plan was unfolding flawlessly. Over the course of the next few weeks, our idea seemed to be working effortlessly. Probably because she seemed to be courting what seemed like the entire male population of Lohberg High School. Everything was great, until Halloween night. Me and Annabelle decided to go as the angel and the devil, and we were off to some party she was invited to. The entire grade was there. Wait, take that back. The entirety of the Lohberg teen community was there. After a few hours, me and Annabelle and our sober selves were living it up. But we were goody two-shoes, so we knew we had to drive. Next thing we know, girls were approaching Annabelle left and right and calling her all these despicable names. And the boy that she actually started liking refused to go out with her because he knew she was that type of girl. When guys slut shame, it's a double standard. Boys are allowed to talk to as many girls as want, but if girls do, God forbid we do. But guys are also allowed to date multiple girls, but if we do, it's a crime. It simply isn't right to label a woman with as many partners as they want with derogatory phrases. All it takes is for one person to speak up.
All it takes is one person to defend another.
All it takes is one person to express himself.
All it takes is one person to say no.
All it takes is one person to break the mold. My journey to hell and back began a year ago.
Summer
It
was
started
coming to close, and
the
pretty
summer
soon
of
the
my
nerds
senior
kicked
year.
In the
My
movies,
name
the
is
modest,
Nina.
nerdy,
I
innocent
just
little sweetheart is
found-
always very
I've always had a particular distaste for the cliques in my high school. And I am,
And I am.
And I am.
And I am.
and I am,
And
I am a young woman. Thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciated it. And now we would like to present the money that we have made to Gabrielle from Harbor House. If you could come up here, please. We made $1,100. Thank you.